Stopping on warding forward here. He's got Bondi in support. This is Sucic. He's touched on Luis Enrique getting a start. Just his second of the season. They just started against Cagliari. Serie forward to Bourbon. Not to Manuel Akenji. That's an show that it's spirit in very talented, also experienced, I should say, Gialloblu. It's her season in the Italian day, but it's acclimatizing well. They got a goal against Cagliari last week, well taken after the assist from Giovanni. Some of the penalty against you, they too. Kanji into Cialanoglu. Now Carlos Augusto. This is Gilbert Zielinski. Not sure if Montipol got a touch. If he did, it was an outstanding save. Zielinski finding space in the box. What? It's not Manera Azzurri early on. Division lump from the pole. Getting the right side of Athletic Club. The early chance for Inter. Cialanoglu deep towards that back post, and Isak, who did score in this fixture last season in the first half, always in place there, but he could direct his header on targets. Cialanoglu taking over. Undoubtedly Inter's best player this season. Turkish international. He scored at each of his last 3 appearances for the club. 4 goals in those games. Kanji. Well worked by Cialanoglu. This is Petar Sucic. Anton Berned. They haven't seen Sucic's opening goal for Inter. Well, I should say his first goal in Inter colours. It was the second goal against Fiorentina. And then look at the highlights. It was a thing of beauty. I don't know if they're dribbling ability and came to the club to provide energy into finessing her pops to box midfielder. And really well. And Pericolo Barella on the bench. And the luxury of her inner likes of Zielinski, and so much strength and depth for Christian Kidu's side this season. So, building on the platform that was left by ex-coach Simone Inzaghi. And the seeds deep. All the way back to Bastoni. Then later, officiation change. Martin Fabring was scheduled to officiate this match. Instead, he was given Udinese Atalanta yesterday. Daniele Doberti, the match referee, drafted in. Mates last night. Nonsense referee. More experienced in the Italian game. Woody into Bastoni. Carlos Augusto. This is Akanji. What he wanted it early. That's a decent idea from Akanji. It's kind of drifted towards that back post, but height speeded. Cialanoglu taking over. Hamilton, Lautaro Martinez. Montipol has come a long way. Lautaro with the dig. Off the line by Peter Nelson. Heartless defending for the day. talk about last line of defence. That's exactly what he proved to be there. Outside of White offside position, Nelson wasn't to know. And that is worth a goal as he flattered into the post. May have injured himself in the process. Two big chances early on for Inter. You'd expect nothing less. Scored 10 goals in the last 3 first halves they play here at the Bentegodi. With 5-0 up after 40 minutes in this fixture last season. Gialloblu taking this one. So what's money? A positive thing for a corner there, but I think was one even hitting himself. Beautifully done by Lautaro. Delicate shit. So it's been bashing against the post. I'm not sure it would have gone in. The Victor Nelson suddenly didn't want to take that chance. We highlighted the importance of the Dane earlier on. That's at the beginning of the match. He goes into corner off Bisek. And there you go, after 9 games, Inter need Serie A in terms of goals, shots on target. It was one and successful crosses. Giovanni disappointing. But it was he who set up Roberto Gagliardini for the opening goal against Cagliari last weekend. And loathed more than Gagliardini had a lot to do directing his header. There, Capdile and Penyon Dole down the other end. Set Verona up. Or should have been. It's a victory in the end, particularly considering they were soon up with 15 minutes to go. Fell apart. To be as clinical today, it's not ball against Inter. Certainly provided enough goal-mouth action. HellasVerona this season in SerieA, the 3rd most shots on target in SerieA. Behind just Napoli and their opponents today, Inter. What can be read into expected goals, but they have the 3rd highest expected goals in the league, and it only scored 5 goals all season, and 3 of which have come in the last 6 days. Leverage to Fobel, BC4, and Gialloblu. Says News Enrique. Hope to impress, starting ahead of Denzel Dumfries today. Almost 11 minutes gone at the Bentegodi. Verona can have that once-point Nelson to thank for still being in this contest at 0-0. 2 big chances early on for the Nerazzurri, neither taken. Mr. Kenji. Gialloblu into Lautaro coming deep. Zielinski back to Gialloblu. Certain players in this inside will have keeping the ball at the straighting and tiring out this Verona outfit. Sucic goes low. This is Lautaro Martinez. Wonderful knee from Sucic. Never expected him to loft it towards Boni and went with the low roots. Lautaro latching onto it on the edge of the box. The Mets off for the home side. Sucic galloping forward once again. Inter already had 5 shots so far. This is Lautaro Martinez, well blocked by Benacocha. Calcio. Inter certainly forcing the issue here early on. They want that early goal. And taking the lead on each of their last 3 visits here to Verona. Who won't make it 4. Sucic. Now Chenji. Far Bastoni has come forward, almost playing as a second striker towards Bonnie at the moment. Lautaro coming deep into that number 10 role. Here is Bastoni. Now Lautaro. Badi not taking any shots. And that's supremely done there from Zielinski. That's such a classy play up. It's just featured as much for Inter as he would have liked over the last few seasons. He had a couple of niggling injuries too. He's an extraordinarily talented player. It's not Bruno Denezenan. Ball down by Bastoni. And so roughing up the passes. That was an edge closer to the 15-minute marker. A slight reason to be optimistic for Verona fans. They conceded so many goals in the first 15 minutes of games this season. In fact, a third of their goals have been conceded in that time. So far, 2 outs. Lautaro Martinez under the challenge from El Salisu, who've had himself here. And most malicious of challenges from Victor Nelson. It does give Inter a free kick in position. There's some threats here because Verona defend this well. So do these pieces. Akan Calcio and a chance. Yemisu would hit into the centre, into the danger area. Some height with Akanji, Bastoni, Bisek all trotting forth. And that's a Sucic over 6-2 as well. Calcio whipping it in. It's so difficult for the goalkeeper to hit. Away at the front post by Benacocha. Something after the injury to Unai Nunez, Benacocha. Started each of the last 2 games. Steady settled and on side at Nelson and Martin Facey it is today. Playing the left-sided centre-back. For Valentini, who is on the bench. And the Calcio goes low this time, and this is Sian Leeds. But fire the heavens. Sure, it just with this goal of the season there. Calcio trying something different. Nancy Linsky would be an extraordinary finish. That is football at its finest. There's not many players in the game today who have the finesse and quality to produce that kind of finish. Piotr Zielinski is certainly one of them. Well, all you can do as a Verona fan is sit back and applaud that. Zielinski in the side ahead of Barella. And they're being rested. Preparations for their midweek game in the Champions League. But when you've got this strength in depth, that's such a strong outfit that amid attacking now to Verona, who had shell shocked, but they're trying to get back into the game as quickly as possible. Another early goal conceded to Inter. This game following the script we all expected. They've already produced some stunning goals this season. Inter, Hakan Çalhanoğlu's double against Juve. Well, those were remarkable. His first against Fiorentina in midweek. Out of the very top tour, but we have seen something out of this world from Piotr Zielinski. And here goes Giovanni Çalhanoğlu with the tackle. Force it to Bradaric. There's down wide. There's compatriots. Bastoni looking for Lautaro Martinez. Izzy with Enrique. Right to Lautaro. See much older the Inter captain now. One of the only Inter player in the area and wasn't pulling for the hole. The Nelson defending well against the French moves up thus far. Here's the goal scorer, Zielinski, and with the shame of Bastoni. And it's been a fantastic first 20 minutes for the Nerazzurri. Sometimes it can take a little while to get going in these 12:30, but good time. Kickoffs and lunchtime kickoffs, as they know it here in Italy. Inter started on the front foot. They wanted to get that early goal, and that they've gotten in some style too. Piotr Zielinski will latching onto the corner kick from Hakan Çalhanoğlu. In what has to be the goal of the season so far. We've seen some fantastic efforts in Serie A. One must be within the bunch. Lautaro. Tipping the ball away once many times, Lautaro. And for goals in his last three, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but he turns provided today with that assist. Player who 80 Inter fan would tell you he's so thoroughly missed when he suffers the injuries that he's had over the last couple of seasons. He goes Giovanni. Verona trying to hook themselves back into the match. Giovanni twisting, turning, Delgado. There to the Algeria, it was a bubbling pass from Giovanni. What a cheers coming from the Inter fans. And some there. Shikibu, the Inter coach, and the Brixis master. Inter's below par performance in the Club World Cup in the United States of America this summer. It's almost treating it like a pre-season tournament, if truth be told. They've started this season with the points to prove. It's a very disappointing start to the season. 2 losses in their opening 3, which have been put behind them now. Indonesian Ventus, the two sides to get maximum points against Inter. Inter suffered another setback of the Maradona last weekend against Napoli. But things were right on Wednesday. Hansa Fiorentina never all their own way against the Diola. David De Gea with a miraculous performance, particularly in the first half, keeping Inter at bay. But Hakan Calcio, as he's done so often this season, unlocking the door. And Tunga with 10 men after Tia Beauty seeing red. Walking down on his body. Two players certainly rested for the Champions League match on that Wednesday. Per punto Ferrez, per devi Podimare con Nicola Barella watching on. Be an emotional return for Federico Di Marco coming up against the side who he played for in the 21-22 season. Fantastic campaign with Verona on loan from Inter. It's the campaign that really held him into the limelight. Convinced those at Inter that he should be a regular starter. That's how he'd receive a very warm welcome should he come on. Di Marco and Inter in this match. Sucic using out to Gagliardini. This is Kochat. Southampton player releasing Pelgali. So many blue shirts forward. This is Pelgali splintering into the box. Decent delivery needed. It's hung up. Sommer beaten. This is Braderic. Sure, Braderic is going there. Whether he's trying to head towards the target. Will assist one of his fellow attackers, but to put it all wrong. Good intent showed by Pelgali. This is Orban. Per beats Busek for pace. Gift Orban to find another way this afternoon. The Zielinski, the goal scorer, up to Akanji. Akanji lost his place. The Guardiola at Manchester City last season. Mainstay in this back line for Christian Kiewel. The archer of Benjamin Pavard. There was a large hole into back three. One more. Akanji sets it so well. The Alpha lights on. Stefan De Vrij could make his 300th appearance in Serie A should he come up from the bench this afternoon. Which is much heavy. Seen his first team chances limited this season. The emergence of Bisek. Seems to be Christian Kiewel's the third choice of R to be into back three. To pair in Serie A games, that is. Mirrors Bisek. Not sure about possession stats so far. Inter must be in the mid-80s. They've been kicking the ball so well. And outside onto Luis Enrique. As this ball is putting it back to Luis Enrique. It's well worked. Bastoni in the centre, as is Sucic. This is Bastoni on the way. Then on the rebound, Palas Augusto is blocked. Akpros take a month per team there. The Serie routine save for Montipol, but he had to make it. The first time in the match, are getting body involved. Credit to Luis Enrique for digging out the cross. It was pinpoint, set to where Bastoni wanted it. It couldn't generate enough power to really test Montipol. painful one there for the post. Calcio Busto and Jean Daniel Akpro. Azulian and at the wing back for Inter, still receiving treatments on the right hand side of your screen there. Akpro wanted to come straight back into the action for Verona. Both players will have to wait for the official Deverians and wait as Bastoni looks to merge this one in. Akanji Lautaro Boni in there. Instead they got short. This is Zieminski intercepted. Giovanni's sticking away from Bisek with ease. He releases Horban. Kradoric in support, as is Pelkali. Horban decides to go it alone. Very bad idea considering our lack of support. Giovanni opens up for Giovanni. Takes a net, getting up for the corner. And that's finally both the Verona fans on their feet. Surprised to see Orban and Giovanni, two instigators on the third Verona attack. Florence will have to be careful. Verona can't hit them on the break. So one that the sweeping move that now finished off against Cagliari last week. Bengadi breaking forward. Giovanni with the assist. Orban with the goal. Well, first goal came from a corner. Can Verona repeat the tray? Felice, well held by Soma, I should say. Orban was on hands just in case Soma dropped it. Good effort there from Felice. Chalanonu. Have a wonderful interception by Victor Nelson. Seems to be everywhere for Verona in that back line. Swooping up. Also more once again. Inter lead by a goal to as they approach the 30-minute mark. So by their lofty standards here at the Pentagoni, considering recent seasons, at this time last season they were already 4 goals to the good up, and they added another one just before half-time too. They scored 2 before the half-hour mark the season before. Marko Arnautovic with both of those. The one is 6-0 here, going in at half-time with a 3-goal lead 3 seasons ago. There certainly is a happy hunting grounds for the Nerazzurri. Marcantonio Bentagoni. This is Bastoni. It's a touch of Fengari and Placona. The first 3 corner kicks from Chalanolu. Wu with plenty of wood. And it's towards that 6-yard area. The other one. Do some spectacular goal from Piotr Zielinski. So what will Chalanolu try this side? Such a congested empty area here. Chalanolu post to hold towards Jan Bisek. Well away by Nelson. Needs to have a player down. Twenty-40 goals scored now in Serie A. So the best in the league, the most free-scoring attack. The Italian top flight. And certainly how pleased Christian Kiebel. So managed to tighten things up at the back in Kiebel's first 9 games. They averaged Serie 1.22 goals per game. They've tightened that up to 0.57 in the last 7 games. So we're heading in the right direction under the Romanian. And there's Carlos Augusto. Inter Lautaro. Musamanka tried to nudge it back to his captain. But Ned running into danger. Woody. Akpro stepping away and needs help there. to promise to these Verona counter-attacks. They were full and shirts forward. Need to make the most of them. And to looking to get their second goal before the half-time whistle. This is Bastoni. And a Sinčić. Loose side, not forcing the issue there. Need to keep Verona moving, tiring out their hosts this afternoon. This is Inter's 5th game in the last 15 days. Tells you how losing their schedule has been over the last couple of weeks. Some of these players are more invited also football this season, particularly those involved with their countries. And just this man and what I can do with Switzerland. Bastoni needs upon knee to be a rash challenge. Some GoalFest. Referee plays the advantage. Sinčić. The Dow putting the ball out here as they have a man down. GoalFest it is who stayed down. Denine. A challenge from behind towards what he's claiming that should have been a foul on his way. Let's have a look. Let the Marotto watching up on the sidelines here at the Mentagordi. So good to see Verona coming down. Pretty damn and wet performance by Verona so far. They haven't threatened Jan Sommer, but that Martin Fleis a header. Now 5 minutes to go. He should have dominated the ball, taken a lead spectacularly through Zielinski. Quite through this first half. I haven't seen Inter adding to their needs. You're not going to get a goal before half-time. I imagine it will come from the Nerazzurri. Here goes Petar Sinčić. About the ball into Boni. Instead he goes to Lautaro Martinez. This is Burnett. Bradaric. Slightly done by the coalition. Bradaric. And out to wander forward. He picks up Belgari. This is Lethik Belgari. Thought about the shots. Hesitating. A fraction too long here. Belgari can still get the ball in. Smart defending from Dallas Livingston. Marshaled in all the way. Well, they looked up a decent player on the hands. Verona in Lethik Belgari. Beats a bit up this year and making that right to wing back berth his own. There's problems at the beginning of the season. Adam Cham started the first couple of games of the season, but it's been Belgari's show ever since. And Giovanni with the in-swinger once again. Decent delivery, way by Akanji. Sinčić. Going all the way there, Petar Sinčić. He's got what he needs, support. This opponent's ball in. He did the hard hit. You wait on that super, and the players there. Cost the point he had in mind. GoalFest. Belgari. Move the fears. Another been meant so far for it's not just the assist, the Zielinski's goal with quick thinking, spotting the ball on the edge of being, Verona ups. Was done really well. Space in. Bella Kotchap for Verona. Vitios the issue here, we're really tried to test some really to go. Bourbon flags stays out for now. Bourbon. Zimmer offside position. If Dorban now claiming for a corner kick here. 7-0. And we can see certainly that Bino Jurian was offside. The threat stayed down though. The ex-Inter midfielder Roberto Gagliardini and covered the most distance in this first half so far, 4.7 kilometers. One of two players that Verona signed as free agents, both of whom left Monza after they signed Akpro. Same window. And on seasons-wise, captain Andre Duda departs in Verona, or divine seasons. Did not hold in the centre of his field, and Gagliardini certainly filling that hole at the moment. Here's Bourbon. Pinning the ball on the deck. He releases Giovanni. This is where Verona can be dangerous. Giovanni. So, this best player this season. The immensely talented Giovanni sends its first home in Italian football for this pivotal occasion against 20 times champions Inter. A spectacular finish from the Brazilian. But he's had to be patient. Giovanni. But when the goal came, and what a goal we've just seen. He took it so well. Soma may have even got a touch, but there was nothing he could do to repel the shot. It was true powerful into the top corner. And Verona needed something in this first half. Against Cagliari, it was Giovanni into Orban. This time, which roles reversed. The Nigerian with the assist. And what a piece of business this has been from Verona, bringing him to the club for free from Corinthians. You said before kick-off that these two would be a handful. Orban. Yutsuzo has been booked in the aftermath of that goal. I'm not sure if there was anything to do with himself and Nicolo Barella. We did see a very animated Barella. Perhaps the Inter players unhappy with the Verona celebrations. That will not interest Zanetti one bit. This side are back on terms after being second best in every department in this first 30 minutes. Have the equalising goal. 4 to go until half-time. Verona 1, Inter 1. Confirmation of the yellow cards for Orban. And Shalanolu. And Zanaltano. And so we're in kind of complete control. One moment, that one glimpse opportunity, but he carved out himself. Tom Orban is still left him with a lot to do. On this weaker side, his weaker right foot, and finding that finish to beat Jan Sommer, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. And certainly a moment that he will never forget. Salanado. To be said. Zielinski. His goal seems a long time ago now. Akbar. Poe. Use of Orban. Too close to Bisek. One just been some issue. Patient coach who's needed that. So it's slightly out of position. If don't see forward too quickly. Two passing opportunities through to Orban and Giovanni. Both missed. From a neutral point of view, it's exactly what this game was crying out for, a Verona goal. Inter had it all their own way. They were dominating the play. Verona hardly snuff out an opportunity, but with that goal, it will force Inter to attempt a little bit more than they maybe wanted to do so. Pio Esposito on the InterMatch may be called into action in this second half. He is the only recognised forward. They do have the academy product. Theo Bali, who is the other centre forward on Inter's bench, but he's yet to make an appearance for the first team. It is absolutely covering it down here at the Bintagordi, and Verona coach Balance the net to choose him. To me, if his raincoat on the bench. The signs of the weather netting out here, it is still raining cats and dogs. And then Veneto. Be set. Gialloblu between the lines, he plays it out to Osboni. Played some good stuff in his first half, the net Azzurri. Degani. Another player more forward to the front too. Needs to be better from a Verona point of view. Did so well to intercept it back on. One even wasted once again. 3 minutes of time added on. This is Carlos Opumsto for Inter. Bastoni nodded to with the direction of Zielinski. Then a Kocha swooping up for Verona. Shananolu, first time ball into Osboni. And just needs to keep the ball now. And then inviting the pressure from Inter. Can't find Inter pressing. Well, they said. Searching big to find Vladaric. We feel the Verona's season won't be defined by games like this, coming up against title-chasing Inter. But because they've lost so many points against teams around them already in the season, they're going to have to pluck some points from somewhere. Unlikely source. And so far, they're doing exactly that. All down to a 1-1 draw. Zielinski's Ep's body taken volley. Cancelled out by the first goal in Italian football forward, Giovanni. And truth run and thrown into this match. Well, the last 15 minutes, they've been impressive, closing the spaces, limiting Inter to very few opportunities, getting that equalising goal too. And still then SerieA left in this contest until we approach the end of the first half. Gagliardini. To Belgari, that's a nice ball. Headed away by the Algerian. Belgari hits the against. Danger not over here for Inter. Verona will come again. Plays it. Hooked into the centre. Away by Carlos Augusto. Pelacocha found his hand. Well, I'm not entirely sure how, but Verona could be ahead here. Really, they should be ahead. Somewhat beaten, but Warburn couldn't beat host. Once again, the threat coming down. Inter's left-hand side, Carlos Augusto failing to deal with the Rafik Belgari. So a sensational first half here for Verona. The hugely entertaining first half comes to an end. Piotr Zielinski gave Inter the lead with one of the goals of the season so far. Wonderful falling, measured into the top corner. That was cancelled out by Giovanni's first goal in Italian football. A well-taken finish to beat Jan Sommer. Verona looked dead and buried, but they have a way back into this match. There's a go in at half-time. Verona 1, Inter 1. Welcome back to the Stadio Antonio Menzigordi in Verona, where the rain is continuing to fall, and it will be feeling like it's pouring very heavily on Inter at the moment. They were in control at the first half, dominating the play, dominating the chances. They took a wonderful lead, honestly, in all intents and purposes, because of the quality of the goal from Piotr Zielinski, one of the goals in their season so far. Only to be picked back in the last 5 minutes of the first half by the supremely talented Giovanni for Verona. And it's a changed 11 more. We should keep you with the watchers joining us. The British players coming in into the side. Zielitsky, as we previously mentioned, with the goal. But there is Enrique Carlos Augusto on the flanks with Oz Bonny up top. There's no Marcus Thuram today. So it is up to these some of the fringe inter players to get the job done in the second half. Verona will be poised by that late performance in the first half. Gift Orban could have given them a 2-1 advantage. His effort ricocheted off the post. Sano Zanetti looking for his first win of the season. And his side are playing a good performance so far against one of the sides will certainly be that at the end of the season challenging for the Scudetto. Giovanni goal late on at the end of the first half. Just third goal Inter have conceded in Serie since the beginning of October. And it's left them slightly shell-shocked. No changes to tell you about as the rain is still coming down in steroids here over the Milan. Can tell you Bentagodi it is a very wet affair. That might suit Verona of the frills and spills in this second half. Here's Begali, arguably their best player in the first half. Stunting once again ahead of Farid Chan. The yellow dart here for Lautaro Martinez. It was a late challenge on Bella-Kotchap. If you are just joining us, the two sets of teams at the bottom of your screen at the moment. There is Verona's sack led by Orban and Giovanni, who combined well, not just for the goal, but in one aspect to the first half, inking up the play and topping deep to pick up that first ball out from defence. And the heen for one there for Armel Bella-Kotchap. Car brandish for the Inter skipper. Gagliardini. This is Giovanni. Begali looking to test Carlos Augusto once again. Brazilian really struggled against him, and he's struggling in the early stages of this first half too. Good touch at the end by Carlos Augusto. Two spectacular goals in the first half. Giovanni for Verona and Zielinski. This is Giovanni now. Berned. Certainly on my Gagliardini. 11 down at the bottom of your screen there. As you can see with Subcic, Zielinski and Cialanoglu, the midfield three for the Nerazzurri. Says one so you're supposed to win, but is on the bench. I reckon if the game stays 1-1 for much longer, Mr. Keeping being falling in is number 94. Had already put up to for the start of this season after an impressive season on load of Spezia. Last time out, he was their top scorer. He was the Poyotti of the season, higher club, and higher of the season. Giovanni's goal means that Verona have now scored 3 consecutive games for the first time this season. And then because Lautaro Martinez, or Bella-Kotchap, German seems to have the Argentines number at the moment. It's been a very frustrated performance from Lautaro. Furious in front of goal 2 seasons ago, but he failed to repeat the trick last season, and he started very modestly too in this campaign. Just the 3 goals so far in the 10 games of the season. Andrew certainly bought in his locker outside of, he said that he does do so much for the team. And some of the fronts leading that press. And as we saw in the first half, can drop deep. Number 10 roll, tried to effect on the Wade and approached late. And Bonny is the main centre striker. Nilsson nodding forward. Saw a bush in the back there. Daniel Akbak. Roberts referee plays on. Stoney getting away with one there. This is all but Ned taking over. We're playing real confidence now, away by Bisek. No. It's amazing what a goal could do to a game. Inter in complete control, passing the ball around with real authority and determination. Too. Now it's Verona who looked the more settled of the two sides. Ned. But Ned's looking to cross. Gagliardini into more Torben. Keeping it away from Jean-Daniel Agfa-Akpro. Two Verona players going to the same ball there. Frustration. Is Giovanni. Gagliardini into Giovanni, who takes it away from Bengali. They're playing some smart stuff. Tano Zanetti appalling from the touchline. He's happy with how his side have settled in the second half. 6 minutes into the second half, it is still Verona 1-1. Stellingeli looking to change that now. Giovanni teasing Bunny. Orban defeats a match onto it. It was Orban who assisted Giovanni in the first half. Brazilian looking to repay the favour. This movement from Orban getting ahead of Akanji. Took a risk, the Swiss defender. He certainly had a piece of the Nigerian shirt. Happily dropping points at home to Como last night. That 0-0 by Chanya Minkovic-Savic went home with the player of the match after saving the penalty from Alvaro Morata. It was 2 points dropped, however, for Napoli. Got 1 point on the board after that draw, and that means that even the win, it's Plans need pod being at dinner pay today. The guy ahead of Robert momentarily. Robert facing off against Milan in the big match tonight at SanSiro. The 45 local time. Do not miss that one. Inter started the game at 3 points behind the Giallorossi. Storni. That's it, ball off his line momentarily, away by Danakocha. But Çalhanoğlu is aiming for a touch. One's insistent, the Turkish international. Nelly Doveri was in a good position to spot it and turn have a look. To tell from that angle. So it did touch Berned. No side has more different goal scorers in Serie A than Inter this season, as 10 players shipped in with goals already this season. And Samantha in equal that. Gonna need somebody to chip in this afternoon, and currently struggling against Verona. Our chances seem to have dried up as well. It's a nice worrying thing for Christian Kibu's side. Touted by many as team two beats this season in the chase for the Scudetto. Of course, Antonio Conte's and Napoli came in as favourites with some journalists considering and win and that they managed last season and stayed the season. The Ent-Cagliari, that's I said win at the Maradona. Beccari intercepted by Bisek. Look check the foul and Bastoni to the frustration of all those in the yellow and blue being the Bentegodi. This is the fight that Zanetti, the Verona coach, wanted to see. And doing toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the division. It's not the best team in the division. So. And the begins having the luxury of bringing other big boys from the bench. Dicono Barella, Denzel Dumfries and Francesco Pio Esposito coming on. Beyond it, Zielinski, who's 1-0 in the first half, sent Inter on their way before they were pegged back. One making way for Pio Esposito. Barella coming on for Zielinski, and it is Denzel Dumfries on for Luis Enrique, who's really struggling this season in an Inter shirt. Just his second start in the league this season. Team off against Cagliari with 20 to play. He's come off even earlier here at Verona. Certainly player of untempted quality, considering the 2 seasons he spent at Marseille before coming to Inter, but who's really struggled to settle in Milan. That mere darting and seen far too much of Gialloblu than that. Della Coccia. El Gari. Gagliardini. Giovanni. Loose balls and Giovanni. First thing he's done one more game. And then 35 to play. Have the Mentegori. Still finely poised at Verona 1-1. These 10 minutes are going to be huge, you feel. Yeah. Lautaro Martinez. And toe-to-toe once again with Nelson. It's been an imperious display for the Nelson. From Giovanni Bastoni. This is Nicolo Barella now for Inter. He's gotten that to the goal for Giovanni before half-time. Scored just on the eve of the interval. It's only his first goal for a club. They really do need to Noir and their centre forwards to produce the goals this season. And shot at front of goal over the last couple. This is Sucic. Carlos Augusto. One of my dead Gatti. And it's been a time since Verona had a player that got into double digits in the same Serie A season. Before he managed it for the Gialloblu back in the 21-22 season, Giovanni Simeone, Anthony Ballack, and Gianluca Caprari, ball netting more and 10 goals. Haven't managed that since. I do feel with the talents that Orban and Giovanni have, at least one of them, if not both, might be able to manage it this season. Long throwing coming once again from Bastoni. Same player. Defensive to the routes, Arno Bollock. Della Coccia, I should say. It's been impressive in the back line for Verona this afternoon. Pio Esposito winning the first header. Barella down to Dumfries. Calcio. He goes down. Not interested. He was a head injury. I wonder whether the Very will stop play here. Salnano Bant on his feet. This is Barella. And it's over 60th minute now. It's dominating the ball just like they did in the first half. Trying to find a way through. Verona stubborn. Richard in defence. It does Sucic. a pocket of space now. Calcio clipped in. Helmut Gagliardini. Giovanni bursting forward here. It's a momentarily out of position. He needs help. And he's been a revelation this season for the Scariglia Giovanni. He continues to operate at this particular level. Struggling to keep hold of him in January, that's for sure. Inter side rotating the squad. You can understand why, considering a really tough one that had booked coming up. They face Kairat in the UEFA Champions League on Wednesday, and then it's Lazio at home, the Derby della Madonnina against Milan at home, and then Atletico Madrid in the Champions League away after the international break. Really tough run of fixtures for the Nerazzurri. Calcio still knows Federico Di Marco warming up on the touchline for Rizza. Here goes Bastoni, and now to wander forward. Bastoni. Inter getting close up. And Gialloblu with the corner. This time it's deep, punched away. Then I'm nodding someone Tipo. Well, every belief for Verona fans that they could go on and win this match here. They've gone toe-to-toe with Inter, particularly in this second half. Managed to win against Inter on this ground for 33 years. 1992, the last time Verona prevailed against Inter at Intergodi. 1-0 strong win. Now Inter getting slightly frustrated here. Until the gamesmanship coming to the fore. Keith Orban going down. Not happy with the challenge. He felt he was elbowed in the face. Gialloblu now for Rizza. How they need his inspiration. It was he who broke down the door against Fiorentina in midweek. And Esposito. And Abdul Fries, the two Inter substitutions combining. Cantrin. To Gialloblu. Now Dumfries. Then well, Dumfries goes down, searching for a free kick. With that far too theatrically, it's good defending from Pradaric. Inter will come and come again. Can see 6.5 minutes of the 90 remaining. Isek. Barella. Think about forcing the issue. Warner up, forcing it through to Piero Esposito. This is Valtano now at the back heel. Dumfries. Zanetti said in the press conference before this match that Inter one of the top 5 teams in Europe at the moment. Who can need some of their big players to get them through here. And apparently struggling against the Verona. Oh, it's a place so far. You have to say Verona deserved the door. Piero Esposito, he goes down. That's a free kick. A dangerous position considering some of the players Inter have within their ranks, notably Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who could certainly hit them from here. Not expected change. Is Federico Di Marco coming on? And Kuychikov thought it might be that he would get a decent reaction from these Verona fans, but that's certainly not the case. G is coming. Is firmly fixed on the ball there. It could be the Turk to strike it. Will be Hakan Çalhanoğlu, blocked by the wall. Çalhanoğlu on the rebound. Loose ball. Giovanni, he goes down. Big decision here for the referee to make. Taniera Doveri taking a long time to make up his mind. It is just yellow for Bisek. Verona wanted red. A hint over to the Bentegori, which could have determined the fate of both of these two sides. Such a poor ball back from Petar Sucic. Giovanni, his first touch, taking the ball away from the goal. Perhaps the referee's thinking it wasn't preventing a goal-scoring opportunity, therefore it's yellow. If you ask me, that's the correct call. Needless to say, Bisek certainly taking a chance there. Giovanni's touch had been in the direction of the goal. The teller of the target would have been red. The fact the ball was pitching out of play means that it certainly wasn't a goal-scoring opportunity. And there is a bar check in progress. Aureliano and Abisso. Viewing to find Doveri whether he is to go and take another look at this on the pitch side monitor. That's all this game was lacking. A little bit of drama in the second half. VAR check completes. Confirmation of the on-field referee's decision. Yellow card for Jan Bisek. Gagliardini taken short once again. This is Belgali digging out the cross. Belgali finding Nilsson. Using to Sommer. And never the last time Sommer touched the ball in this second half. It's been a bystander for Inter. Darena. Pio Esposito in the centre. This is Francesco Pio Esposito. He goes down. That's out of planning for a hard ball. The referee has given a foul on Pio Esposito. One of home fans in good voice here. They're impressed with what they've been seeing so far. It's been a diabolical start to the season by their standards. They failed to win any of their first 9 games. They were relegated at the end of that season. That was back in 2016. They finished 20th, last place in SerieA, which was a season to forget. Plenty on show this afternoon. Stevie stands optimism that they can avoid the drop. Hannes Zanetti needed a reaction. He wanted a reaction, called up for a reaction, and that's what he's been getting this afternoon. Still plenty of work to do, though, for the Scaligieri to repel this supremely talented Inter side. Di Marco, first time ball to Lautaro. Messa Piero Esposito, he goes down as then another free kick. Nelson with Piero Esposito's theatre. Still a 20 to go at the Bentegodi. The sun and down, and Vergari gets the thumbs up from Montipol. Well, did today. Since of Serdar, the German midfielder, giving Montipol the long-standing goalkeeper to lead Verona out. Just a good save early on to deny Zielitski. Nothing he could do about Zielitski's opening goal for Isa. Just but and think of the Bars now. First side of the game, Orban and Giovanni looking slightly leggy. I wonder will Mosquera or Sarr be coming on to pressure things up, give them a bit of an out. And then Sarr certainly capable of doing that with his physicality. It's a least addition, the Swedish striker who can play off the last man. He's got plenty of pace. I'm surprised to see Palazanetti switching things up in the next 10 minutes or so. Well, no one of them is still yet to make a substitution in this match. Inter, on the other hand, have made 4. They're allotted 5. White on cue, Tony Mosquera is being prepared by Verona staff. Shakias, the other player to come on into midfield. Who had expected to be Gift Orban to come off, particularly considering he was booked in the first half following the aftermath of the Giovanni goal. Still not entirely sure what happened there, but it looked to be something between himself and Nito Barella. Here is Barella now. Sucic, Piero Esposito. Calcio finds Di Marco, intelligent ball. Di Marco in towards Piero Esposito. Ball lining up for there, Dumfries, Lautaro and Piero Esposito. As the rain continues to thrash down, time is running out for it. The change that we anticipated and somewhat expected. Daniel Mosquera coming on for Gift Orban. Another fantastic performance from the Nigerian. An assist for Giovanni came really close to edging Verona in front in the late stages of the first half, but his effort was repelled by the post. We have the change in the centre of the park. Check, yes, the Senegalese coming on for Antoine Verona. Calcio spreads it out to Di Marco. Always an option to Federico Di Marco on the left. Sucic. Back to Di Marco. Upstream. The season cheers every time he gets the ball. Di Marco into Calcio. Nice interplay. Di Marco. And then Dumfries fouls Nelson. Well, that would have been the perfect way to silence these jeers at the Bentegodi. As Di Marco had found the net there. Went for the ball, but Montipol was equal to it. Smart work from Inter. They play some sensational football at times. Credit to Piero Esposito for keeping it alive. Nelson. It's good today, in fact. Nelson was on the line there, ready to clear it. Nelson, it was fouled by Dumfries. Approaching the last 15 minutes here in Verona. Inter searching for that second goal, but all that surely it would come in the next 15 minutes be the winning goal. But a controlled and measured second half on Verona. They've taken very few risks. And that surely would their points that they would be taking home if the scores were to remain the same. Inter, you feel, will be going in search of all three. Still plenty of life left in this one. Bisek. Now Calcio. And bullied out of it net. Gary do footways with United. Dimato hooks it in as it walls once he pulled. Just too long for Esposito. With all due respect to HellasVerona, these are the games that Inter need to be winning if they are going to challenge the likes of Napoli, Roma, Milan and Juve at the top of SerieA. Such an open race for the Scudetto this season, you feel. Until Spalletti taking over at Juventus, getting off to the perfect start away at Cremonese last night, winning 2-1. Smarter and they come back from the Grigio Rossi. Di Marco. Then Jari. Big test for Giampiero Gasparini this evening, in charge of Roma, going away to Max Allegri's Milan. And Sunny in Pop's office at tonight's 8:45. Lots of SerieA action this afternoon too. Mastorni can to fall it towards Esposito. This is Di Marco. Win away by Nias. Some smiles for Manotta and Kivu here in the first half. Piotr Ziemicki putting the Mar into a 1-goal advantage after that superbly struck volley on the edge of the area from the backhand Gialloblu's corner. Giovanni's goalmate on in the first half, pegged into back. They've really struggled to break down this Verona defence in the second half. Ball touch from Berakocha. Piccolo Barella onto Dumfries. Nice first touch. Pio Esposito. Back to Dumfries. The Dutchman holding forward here. He's got Maltaro in support. Instead he chooses Di Marco. Giovanni. Sapilac. More border. Calcio. Barella. Nice ball into Bastoni. Quite on the same wavelength. It's moving into attacking players. Subduing this second half. And he is Sarr being prepared for Verona. That should mean that that'll be Giovanni's number up. It is. Well, a standing ovation for the Brazilian. He netted his first goal in Verona colours in the first half. He's been absolutely everywhere, helping out in defence. The exciting Brazilian. It's a 10-minute rest. It's fair to say that HellasVerona have a new fan favourite, and his name is Giovanni. Not the worst decision from Paolo Zanetti, and Insar capable of defending corners as well with his height. That's that part of the thinking. Kanji for Inter. Still no change in the system for them. They're happy with their 3-5-2. To Marco Dumfries playing as advanced wingers though. It's me into the final 10. Verona 1. Needs a 1. Bisaccu. It's a Pio Esposito. This is Dumfries. Away by Fleset. Di Marco. Si è fatto Lautaro. Barella, smartly done. Now Bastoni. In towards Pio Esposito, easy for Gagliardini. Mosquera, how to check the ass. Now then, Verona can slide players forward. This is Bradaric. How much has he left in the tank? Bradaric looks to Mosquera. It's a must-win header there for Manuel Akanji. The day opening up now. Verona temporarily out of position. Sharanolu. The Inter fans in war in Chamanoli forward. Low ball into fine Pio Esposito. The question is how much of Verona going to risk getting this winning goal. You feel any goal now will be the winning goal. Sharanolu. He couldn't, could he? Denzel Dumfries. Way, buddy. Akro. This seems to be struggling. Verona do still have 2 changes to make. It's been, I think, for quite some time. John Daniel Akron's facial expression shows us he's in some pain. Doesn't look to just be fatigue. Panini player of the match. Contenders down there at the bottom of the screen. That's Giovanni and Orban for the home side. Shalanolo and Zielinski. And considering Pertandingan his first goal, the ItalyanFootball considering it's a goal that Phil Verona level. Well, I give it to Giovanni, but you can take nothing away from Piotr Zielinski, who was very aggressive in the first half. Not just the well-taken goal. Forced, once he points with it, say early on too. As a lively. And Shalanolo. At least that almost playing as a right back now. No ball in to find Pio Esposito. Not a bad idea. Barella peeking the pocket of Geknias. Nias looking for Mosquera. Foot race between himself and Sharanolu and Jan Sommer. Who's the most calm approach to repelling the danger. It has gone very wrong. Wave after wave of Inter attack. This is Lautaro Martinez. They're claiming for a handball. The referee has indicated for a corner. But handball for something similar against Julian Saint-Gilloise in the Champions League. Belgian side defender McAllister handling. The Lautaro Martinez was jumping for a ball. That was a very similar situation, but on this occasion it's a corner kick, not a penalty kick. Barella taking over corner duty in towards Dumfries. This is Shalanolu. Final Mosquera. Pio Esposito. Back to Di Marco. Patient play from the Nenatori, but time is running out. Who reached to go into the box? Pio Esposito over the top. Well, different half, but same story. Roberto Gagliardini, the ex-Inter-man, has covered the most distance of all players on the field, 10.6 kilometers, a wonderful ever the Higgs put in the center of the park. Got to give credit to the entire Verona back line and centre midfielders. Come up against top-level, top-tier opposition this afternoon. They've gone toe-to-toe with them, and they are just over 5 minutes away from a valuable point. Dumfries releases Pio Esposito. Altaro makes the run. This is Calcio. Parella now. It towards Di Marco. Di Marco moves it towards the front man, but it's too easy for Monsipol. This fixture here at the Pentagoni 2 seasons ago finished in a draw. It's the last game of the season. Inter had made wholesale changes after already wrapping up their 20th Scudetto title, that second star that they so richly deserved that season under Antonio Conte. On for a corner, 4 minutes to go. Into 7th corner of the contest. Calcio standing over it. Decent delivery. Falls to Nicola Barella. Well, why not? It's been far too tentative from Inter in the last 5 minutes. Yes, from Di Marco testing on Tipo. But what did it be? Don't thought that you would have expended from Inter in this late stage. Davide Fratesi, the master of the late goal, coming on for the Nerazzurri. Petar Sucic making way. In the beginning. Verona making a change too. John Daniel Akro Both and Abdou Haloui coming on in his place. Then Gagliardini looking to Belgari, who will keep this in. Belgari, they're claiming for a hard ball. Was Di Marco. He held his hands behind his back. Not entirely sure what Di Marco could have done differently there. Certainly not a handball, if you ask me. Also, the entirety of the second half, we've been wondering if Inter would take the lead. Now, with under 2 minutes of the 90 to go, it's Verona who have themselves the corner kick. Away by Bisek. Counter-attack on here for the Nerazzurri. Fedgari winning it from Di Marco. This is Mosquera. It's a dangerous area that no one was there. The runner certainly giving this a go. Calcio towards the two central strikers. Tesi almost operating as a third striker now, as Inter go in search of what will be and should be the winner. Floated it and tapped at the front post. Met off there for Verona. Introduced Valentesi. It's good directed to test Montipol there. That's a let off. All eyes on the fourth official. How much time will be added on at the end of the 90 here? Montipol taking his time. After a turgid week for Verona, this will be one hell of a burst. Letting a 2-goal slip go against Cagliari, being outclassed by Como in midweek. They battled hard against one of the best teams in the league, one of the best teams in Europe, if truth be told. But it's a few clear-cut opportunities, particularly in the second half. And so we'll feel they should have been away in the first half after so many opportunities. Only one was taken by Piotr Zielinski. Giovanni equalized just before the break. Into the second of 6 added on minutes at the end of the match here. We've the mate Draman. Bastoni. Di Marco. L1 there to Federico Di Marco. And threat is always on for the counter-attack here. Abdim Haroui. He's got Nias in support. This is Mosquera. And now Chet Nias. Nias to win it for Verona. Tried to place it. We would have counted anyway as the offside flag has gone up. The Senegalese didn't know that. He's never scored in Serie A. Now it's Chet Nias. Would have been a sub-moment for him. Shalanodu. Into Fratesi. This is Pio Esposito. He goes home. It looks to be a penalty kick. That's not the last move here at bats for the score. And Chipo up in arms. Doberi was in a good position to make the call. He's insisted there wasn't enough contact. Inter continue to attack. Nalcharo. Anywhere will do for Gagliardini. Drama right until the last year. Paolo Zanetti was booked for something he said. Let's have another look at it here. Well, Bella Kotchap is taking a few shots, reaching across. Pio Esposito goes down far too easily. But it is intriguing. If Pio Esposito had stayed on his feet, he would have had a scoring opportunity. In towards Prater. The Super Champions. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been beautiful for Inter, but they find a way. Vareno with the ball in. So Latesi attacking the initial ball. And it's come off Daniel Fraser. It will go down as an own goal. Inter will not care about that. It doesn't matter who scores the goals, just that they can. And so often we've seen him in the last few seasons, particularly under Simone Inzaghi in the last Scudetto winning season for Inter. They get the late goal. The performance has been under par. No Inter fan can argue with that. But you're certainly always going to have one more big chance. And that chance has been taken. An unfortunate moment for Therese. You have to feel for Verona. You have to feel for Zanetti. Same old story again to them. And let a 2-goal lead slip against Cagliari. They lost to Como. And they are 60 seconds away now from another defeat. Shetnias. They could they, Verona? Surely not. Abdul Hadoui. Calmly done by Darella. Certainly had an influence on proceedings since coming on in this second half. Unstoppable for InterMilan. Yellow card for Amala Kochap. 15 seconds away, Inter. And just need to hold the ball. And they'll be Helmenhorst. Somados long towards Pio Esposito. And another Inter win at the Ventegordi. It was below par. It was unconvincing, but Kivu's men get the job done. They momentarily leapfrog Roma into second. As for Verona, no wins in their first 10 league games, and you must feel that Paolo Zanetti is now on borrowed time. A harsh end for this Verona side. Martin Fleiter with an own goal. Then added on time. Piotr Zielinski gave Inter a wonderful lead in the first half with a volley on the edge of the box. Giovanni squared things up 5 minutes before half-time. But in a nervous second half, Inter and their quality finally shone through. All over at the Ventegordi. Verona 1, Inter 2.